Hello guys, welcome back to Octocoder. I hope you had a fantastic time exploring the initial stages of our journey to build the Find My Restaurant application. In our previous session, we laid a solid foundation by setting up our server using Node.js, Express.js, and connecting it to MongoDB. Today we are going to dive even deeper into the world of RESTful APIs and discover how they'll empower our application with functionalities that users will love. In this session, we are going to focus on the heart of our application, the RESTful APIs. These APIs will serve as the communication channel through which our front-end and back-end interacts, allowing users to seamlessly explore and interact with restaurant data. The magic of RESTful APIs lies in their simplicity and effectiveness. They follow a set of principles that enable us to perform various operations on our data, such as creating, reading, updating, and deleting. So, are you ready to continue our coding adventure? Grab your favorite beverage, make yourself comfortable, and let's dive into the world of RESTful APIs. Let's get started and transfer our vision into beautifully functional code. Here we have established a connection to our MongoDB database using MongoDB Compass. Now I am going to guide you through an alternative route connecting to MongoDB Atlas. MongoDB Atlas is a cloud-based database service that offers flexibility, scalability, and convenience. Let's dive into the steps to connect to MongoDB Atlas. So let's search on Google MongoDB, and here you'll get first link mongodb.com. Open this link and you'll see interface of MongoDB homepage like this. Here in the right corner, click on sign in option. If you haven't created your account, then create new account by clicking on sign up options, or you can use your Google sign in. Okay, and if you have already account, then log in it. After logging in on MongoDB, you will redirect to your previous created database like I have created Okta database. So it open here. Don't worry, I'll show you all step by step from creating new database and cluster, how to create the Atlas database URL, password, how to generate, that all you'll learn from scratch now. Okay, so let's create new database. How to create that? If you click on your username here in this blue color name like Octocoder, here click it, or you can click on this drop down option and click Octocoder Atlas here. Then you will get all previously created project list here. These are I created before. So now let's create new project by clicking on this right corner new project button. Then give your project name here. So let's give restaurant DB and click on next button. Then here you can add members if you want. Okay. Then click on create project. Here we created database, but we are not assigned it to get our database. So here we need to create deployment. Basically we need to choose our cloud provider. So let's click on create. Then here you will get paid options and one free option. If you want to buy, you can. Otherwise, use this free option. Select this free option and below you can choose provider, whoever you want, AWS, Google Cloud and Azure. So I'll choose AWS. Then you can select region. So I'm from India, so I'll select option Asia, Mumbai. You can write cluster name here. If you don't want, then keep it as it is. You can write tags also, but this is an option. So I'll leave it that and click on create button. So it will navigate to security quick start page. Here you can set your username and password. Okay. So let's give username Octocoder. Password you can write your own, or you can click here auto generated secure password. It will create 16 characters secure password, something like this. Note down that password or save in notepad. Okay. Then click on this create user, and below here you can select my local environment or cloud environment. Okay. I'll select my local environment. Then you need to add your IP address. So I'll add by clicking on this add my current IP address. It will add my IP address. I'll blur this. I don't want to show my IP address. Okay. Then click finish and close. And congratulations on setting up access rules. Click on go to overview. So here we don't have any clusters yet. You can add data from here. Okay. So first let's connect cluster to our application by clicking on this connect button. Here you can select options. If you want to access on Compass, then select this Compass or Shell or MongoDB for VS Code. Any of these you can select. I'll select this driver option and you will get all information here, installation command. But here we just want this string, this database URL. It have our username in this URL and cluster name here. So copy this URL and close this. And let's open our project in VS Code. Open .env file because this is database URL and we have created environmental variable for our port and database URL. Here we have given MongoDB database URL. So for now let's comment out this by giving hashtag .env file commented by hashtag. Okay. And let's create new variable named atlas underscore URL equal to and paste the URL we just copied from atlas. And here in the password, remove that and paste our auto-generated 16-character password we have saved in Notepad earlier. Okay, let's take this password and paste it here. Save this file. Please don't use my password for your project. By the time you watch this video, this database won't even exist. So create your own password and use it. Okay. Now open our app.js file and here in the db URL, process.env.this db URL, remove this and give atlas underscore URL variable here and save it. And let's run project now. Open terminal, node app.js and there you go. App is listening on port 8080 and successfully connected to database on Atlas. Congratulations. Now you know both ways. How to connect database on MongoDB Compass and MongoDB Atlas. So we have done our database connectivity. Now the real application starts from here. The heart of our application, the RESTful APIs. We are building RESTful APIs for Find My Restaurant, right? So you have little idea of what we're going to build from our documentation. This is our documentation, and in documentation we have given all steps for building Find My Restaurant application. What we need to do, right? Like add details, list down all data, find by category, update and delete. So basically CRUD operation: create, read, update and delete. So what do you think should be our logical next step over here? Alright, don't worry, I'll guide you step by step. Okay, so we need to create here restaurant schemas. As you seen in the document, we have given all fields that we need for restaurants like name, description, category, image, location, phone and rating. These are fields we need to create now. So schema, always write it in the folder models. Okay, this is our models. If you know MVC pattern, model, view, controller. So the first step is create a models. So in our project directory we don't have. So to do that, let's create models folder first of all, and then inside that I'm gonna create a new file called restaurant model.js. And in this file we can define how our restaurant documents should look. So the first thing we need to do inside here is require mongoose. So const mongoose equal to required mongoose package, because it's mongoose that allows us to create these models and schema for our data in database. Now let's create restaurant schema. So const restaurant schema equal to new object mongoose.schema constructor to define the fields you need. So what we need here for our restaurant? Well, we should have restaurant name, right? So we add a name property to the schema, and then this can be an object where we can define bits of information about how the name property should look. So for example, we can add type property in here to say that it should be a string. Make sure capital S here. Okay, so if we try to save a new restaurant document to the database where the name isn't a string, it's a number, then it's not going to allow us to do that. It enforces this schema. We can also say that we want this to be required by using required property and setting equal to true. Alright, so what's next field? Let's check our documentation. Here, restaurant schema, name, then description. So let's do same for description, then type string required true. Similar for category, let's just copy this and paste it. Just remove description and write category here. So do for all other fields, just copy and paste and change names. Okay, I'll do little fast forward. Okay, and last we have rating. For rating, type is number. Okay, so are we finished with schema? Is there anything remaining? Well, yes, we need to give created at field. It is very important. Why? Just like person born, so we remember date of birth and time, right? And that will not be going to change. So always give created at. And what do you think? What will be the type of created at? Type is date. Then this is also not going to change. So immutable value true. If we do not pass any date, then we will give default value of date. So default return date now function. So value will be default if we do not pass. Okay. Similarly, we will also have one more parameter as updated at, but it will not be immutable because it will get updated. So it's mutable. So remove this and value default date. Okay. And that's it. We're done creating our restaurant schema. This is for beginner developers, so we keep it simple. Otherwise, you can use more validation if you want. Okay, so let's export this module. Module.exports equal to mongoose.model and name give restaurant singular and second parameter we pass schema restaurant schema. This will allow you to interact with your restaurant data. Okay, so this creates a model now which we are going to import in other files, and we are done with the schema. So what should we do next, guys? Don't worry, I'm here to guide you. So now is the time to create our controller, the first API endpoint function, which is add restaurant. Okay, then we will do routing. Okay, if we don't have API endpoint, then we don't need route, right? So first let's create our RESTful APIs, which is controller, and this API will be inside in controllers folder. So let's create controllers folder here in our directory, and inside create restaurant.controller.js. Okay, so first we need to import here our restaurant schema model, right? So const restaurant equal to require and give correct path. Remember always give relative path. So our model is inside models folder. So give two dots, then slash. You will get auto suggested here. Select models folder. Then our file restaurant schema. So our model is stored in this restaurant variable. Okay, alright. Now we are ready to go for our first API endpoint creation, which is add restaurant. So let's create a function which is exportable. So exports dot add restaurant. You can name it anything if you want. Okay, and this will require request and response parameter because this will come from routes. So we can write our logic here now. So first thing we will create restaurant object from the request which we get. So we have multiple fields like name, and name will have request.body.name, and similarly we'll have multiple data. So copy paste this and just change names. Give all our fields name here. Second is description, then category. I'll do little fast forward, and last rating. Okay, so now let's insert our data into database. So let's do in between try and catch. Okay, so try and catch, so we can handle errors. Inside try, const restaurant equal to restaurant dot create method, and this is promise method. So we'll write await. First write restaurant object, and here write await. So we writing await here. So the function has to be async. So write async function here. So we are awaiting to restaurant to be created, and we will also send this particular restaurant back to the client. So response short res dot status code 200 for OK success and send restaurant. And if we have any error, then log here console.log error creating restaurant and error.message, and we'll send response.status code 500.send and message some error occurred while creating restaurant. So let's test it our API in Postman. Before that, we need to import body parser in app.js file. So if you remember, we already installed in starting. So let's confirm that. Open our package.json file, and here we have dependencies body parser. Okay, so let's import const body parser equal to require body parser, and we'll use Express as middleware. So app.use body parser.json This is just telling that the dealing of data between my server and client, it should be in the form of JSON. But as soon as JSON enters my server, it should be converted to JavaScript object. As soon as it leaves my server, it should be converted into JSON object. So this conversion happens because of this body parser. And you also have to do URL encoded because it should encode it with character or special characters. So app.use body parser dot URL encoded and give extended as true. So the last step we need to do is the define routes. So let's create a new folder here, give name routes and inside create restaurant route.js file. First import our controller. So const restaurant controller equal to required give relative path, select from controllers folder and restaurant controller. Then we will export the function here. So module.export equal to function app and our first API is post API. So app.post and we have given API link what should look like in the documents. So here we can write app.post / API restaurant and add and comma and middleware restaurant controller dot add restaurant function. So we done route. Now the last and final part is need to do in app.js file. Here let's do required routes, restaurant route and app function. And we done all functionalities. So now let's test it out. So let's start server, open terminal, node app.js and enter. App is listening on port 8080 and successfully connected to database. Okay. So for testing, we have Postman software. So let's open Postman. Lot of new learners don't understand this software, how to use it. But don't worry, I'll guide you through step by step. Okay. So here in the left side bar in collection, here you can see plus sign. Click on the sign and it will create new collection. And here you can edit collection name. So let's give find my restaurant. Then here you can add a request by clicking these three dots or you can just click here. Okay. So add request. Then enter our localhost colon 8080 path. Then / our API. So this API copy and paste it here. Okay. Then select body. Then select raw. And then here select JSON format. Okay. And then write our fields that we need to add for our restaurant. So we have name. Remember this is JSON format. So all in double quotes. Okay. Name of the takeout. For image URL, I'm just going to write my YouTube channel link is just for the demo. Okay. You can add your image URL actual path. And we done writing all our fields. So then click on the send button and there you go. We have successfully created our first document. As you can see status code 200. Okay. And we got expected output here. Now let's check in our MongoDB compass. Let's open MongoDB compass and here click on connect. And here we didn't get our restaurant database, which means something wrong. Oh, we have given Atlas URL path and we are looking in MongoDB compass. So our database it must be saved in Atlas online. So let's open Atlas and here click on view deployment. Then here click on collection tab. And there you go. We have our documents here saved in MongoDB Atlas. And if you want to save in MongoDB compass, so let's change our database path in .env file. Here let's uncomment this db URL and comment this one, save and in app.js file. Instead of this Atlas URL, write db URL and save it. Restart the server, successfully connected. So let's send again in Postman. Here just click on send and successful 200 status. And now let's open MongoDB compass. Click on connect, and here we have now restaurant DB and the collection restaurants, and here we have our first document. Congratulations, you just learned the first API add restaurants. So let's add another for confirmation. Okay, so in Postman, let's change name, give Burj Khalifa, location Dubai, dine in, 7-star rating, and send it successfully. Status 200, all okay. So let's check MongoDB compass and refresh this. And here we got second document, Burj Khalifa. Everything is perfect. Congratulations, guys. And there you have it, a fantastic start to our journey into building a robust real-world application using Node.js, Express.js, and MongoDB. I can hardly contain my enthusiasm for next lecture, where we will delve even deeper into the world of RESTful APIs of reading data, updating, and deleting data, and how they integrate seamlessly into our coding. Remember, knowledge is power, and the more we learn together, the more powerful our coding skills become. If you found this video informative and inspiring, I would be thrilled if you could show your appreciation by giving it a thumbs up and subscribing to Octocoder channel. Your support fuels our passion for teaching and sharing knowledge. So until our next exciting session, keep coding, keep exploring, and most importantly, keep that coding spirit alive. Happy coding, everyone.